Hello, I'm John Rushton, the Life Doctor. I'd like to talk a little bit about be careful of what you wish for. We all have aspirations in life, we all have ideals, we all have things we'd like to do, places we'd like to see, and all kinds of manner of things in between. It's only natural, it's what we do in life, it's what we aspire to do, and it gives us a direction to go forward. It's all absolutely fine. One of the things, though, we must be careful about is blindly wishing for something with no content. And many people actually get into the habit of doing that. Oh, aren't they lucky? Oh, isn't she lucky? Isn't he lucky? Well, it happened to them, but it never happens to me. Well, that's all negative talk, because you don't know other people's journey. You only know the result of that journey. You don't know what they've had to go through, and you don't know what you will have to go through to get where you want to go. But a little story which actually highlights what you may wish for without any content. So if you want to do something in life and you have a wish or an aspiration, by all means go for it, think about it because it could materialise, but actually look at the content of it because that's where your journey is going to start. A story about a university at the end of term. All the students are lined up and the lecturer is just talking to them generally. This is the last term programme for them. And he's talking to them and he's asking them what they would like to do. Not sort of a wishful thinking, but basically what they're doing as their courses and everything else, what they would like to do and where they would like to go. And one by one he's going around asking them all, and they're saying, oh, I'd like to be a prominent architect or a doctor or whatever it may be, letting their imagination go a little bit beyond where they would normally go. And he comes to a girl and asks her, what would you like to do? And she responds, oh, I want to be rich and famous. Okay, but surely you'd like to be rich and famous at doing something. There must be some credential to that, being rich and famous. No, I just want to be rich and famous. There's nothing you'd like to be rich and famous for, a writer, an actress, an architect, or a designer, or whatever it may be. No, just rich and famous. Okay, well, fair enough. And so he goes on to the end, and it comes to the very end, and it comes to the end of the programme, and he says, well, I wish you all a very happy summer term, and I look forward to seeing you next year. And that was it. And then one morning he's having his breakfast and his wife brings the newspaper in and he's having his coffee and he sees this horrific accident on one of the pages of the newspaper. And he's reading this, sipping his coffee, and thinks, I know that person. And he reads a little further. Says, oh my goodness, she's one of my students. So he reads now more intently about that, and suddenly he realised that is the girl who is actually wanting to be rich and famous. It sticks in his mind, it all comes flooding back. And so he's reading more, and what happened was the girl was going home one evening and a juggernaut was going down the road and it skidded on black ice. And the juggernaut hit the girl, dragged her down the road, broke her ribs, her legs, her arms, absolutely ruined her face and everything else. And somebody, fortunately, was close at hand and they found the hospital and the paramedics came and took her to hospital and they're rebuilding her face and they're putting her arms and legs in plaster. But she will never walk again. She'll be lucky if she does anything ever again. And so the lecturer actually goes to the hospital and sees her. And he says, oh, I'm really sorry to hear what has happened. And she said, it's amazing, I actually wish to be rich and famous. And he said, well, partly it's come true because you had a $2 million settlement and you're in every newspaper and magazine and news story in the whole of Europe and America. So he said, partly your dream has come true, you are rich and famous. And this may not be the way you wanted it to be, but so be careful the content of being rich and famous or what you want to be in your life, because it may just come true, and the chances are if it does come true, it's not always going to be the way you envisaged.